Well, welcome to a live coding live coding session. Um, I'm gonna be posting this without any edits to YouTube, so just keep that in mind. This is not a tutorial. This is not me teaching you how things are done. I'm just doing something, recording it, and posting it on YouTube. Um, However, you are more than welcome to post your comments, add your own ideas or your criticism or, whatever you want to say. If you think my approach is stupid, just go ahead and say that on YouTube. Uh, just let's just try to all grow and understand together. So with that in mind, if you do post something in the comments, just keep in mind that we are all people. Just don't go and be all uh, rude about, your comments. Um, Anyhow, my idea, and this is going to be, I'm going to be doing this in multiple sessions because I don't want videos to go on for too long. And at the same time, I don't want to just advance little by little. My idea is to make a very simple, very small memory game. And right now, the idea is still even incomplete in my head. I just have the very basic idea of what I want to do, which is show a table that has, uh, it's a 3 by 3 table, 3 rows, 3 columns. In total, there's going to be 9 cells. And then when the game starts, we show for, I don't know, 5 seconds, maybe, we show the table with the numbers, which are going to be randomly placed in each of the cells. And then we hide that, we put asterisks, and then the player is going to have to write the numbers back in the same order that they were at the beginning. So it's just a basic memory game. There's going to be nothing fancy, but I think it's a good exercise. So the first thing I'm going to do is here in my let's rename this memory game. And then the first thing I'm going to do is to write my table. And I'm just going to give it an ID of game. And then I'm going to add a table row. And then inside the table row, it's table cells. I'm just going to copy this. And then just paste it 2 more times. And then copy all of these and paste it 2 more times. Let's just add placeholders. I should have done this first. I don't know all the key mappings or all that for CodePens, so there might be better ways to do this, or I could have used Pug or something, but this is fine. There's no rush. So that's the basic structure. We have 3 rows and 3 columns, total of 9 cells. Let's add a div just to use it to be able to add styles. I'm actually going to be using an ID. So keep in mind that in regular web development, using IDs is not recommended. There are many reasons why. I'm not going to go into details of those reasons, but just keep in mind that in this case, I'm using ID just because this is going to be very self-contained and it's going to help me make fewer mistakes using IDs rather than using classes. So for the game container, I'm going to set it to display flex. And then I'm going to justify the content. And I'm going to add padding. I think that I'm actually not going to add padding. I'm going to set this to be 100% height. And then I'm going to align items center. Okay, that 100% didn't work, so I'm using 100% viewport height. And now align items, it's getting me the result that I want, which is just having this table center vertically and horizontally, or actually horizontally and vertically. Anyways, let's keep the table view styles. Cool. So it's okay. And what can we do? Actually, let's give this a background color. And let's also reduce, get rid of the margin and padding. I want to get rid of this white margin. And for some reason that's not working. Let's check. Inspect the element. Okay. Oh yeah, that's I need to add that to the body. Let's see. Now that works. And then for the game, I'm going to set the color to white. And then the font size, I'm going to set that to, let's go with 2 rem, just to make it bigger. Well, we could actually go 2.5 rem. Yeah, that looks better. And then let's start with the table cells and give it a width and a height. 20 pixels, and I think 20 pixels might be too small. I'm going to make that 60 pixels. Okay, that looks a little better. We can give them a background color. Let's use the color picker from DuckDuckGo. This color RUV 128, 128. Oh, that was 0. And then we have these analogous colors. So I think I'm going to try this one for the background color for the cells. Of course, I am missing. Okay, that looks nice. And then let's do text align center and vertical align center. Or is that middle? I think that's middle. Okay, let's see. Why is that not working? Inspect the element. Yeah, vertical align middle. I don't know. We could actually try giving it a display of flex. I'm not sure this display flex is going to work on the table cells. So let's, oh yeah, it works, but then it does this, which is not what we want. So I'm not gonna fight this. I'm just gonna leave it like that and maybe just give it a little bit of padding on top. Padding top, let's do 10 pixels. And box sizing, border box. And now I can play around with this value. Let's do 15. And that looks center, but '18, I think 18 looks better. But then what happens if you have a number? That doesn't look center. So what about display inline flex? Yeah, that seems to work better. So let's remove padding, vertical, and text align center. We can remove that, and then I'm just gonna copy. Just gonna copy that, paste it here, remove this line, and that works a little better. But then, of course, the asterisk is not center, and that's because of how the asterisk sits on the regular text line. I'm just gonna leave that for now. There's probably a way to fix it. So let's put the asterisk back instead of 1. Okay. I've already got an idea. I think I'm going to replace the asterisk with a pseudo element that I can position uh, within this box. So I'll try that later. For now, this is okay. What else? I think I should change this spacing to be the same as this one. And for that, I can go to the game and actually copy this. and then paste it all the way here. That makes more sense. Then let's just quickly ask ChatGPT because I don't remember how to do that. Border spacing, collapse, border spacing. Let's do border spacing and set that to both. I don't know, 15 pixels. Let's do 10 pixels. 10 pixels. I think that looks better. Let's round the corners of these cells a little bit. Let's try 8 pixels and see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay. Okay, that I like it. Yeah. Um, Now we need to get random numbers from 1 to 9. So let's grab reference to our table. And that's going to be document. I'm going to actually define a function here. And that's going to actually that, and then I can use that function to get the table. And then just to make sure that I get the table, I can alert the table. Object HTML table element. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so now I have a reference to the table and I want to get a reference to each individual cell. Table. And then let's alert cells and see what we got. And we get an HTML collection. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to convert that into an array because working with arrays is better than working with live HTML collections. And now I have an array of table cell elements. Okay, cool. And let's go ahead and empty those table cells. Well, rather than emptying them, I'm just going to add numbers from 1 to 9. Call these cells stat for each cell equals index, and of course I need to get the index. And now we have it, and right away I see a bug, which is we're starting from 0. Let me change the line. That's not working. Let's see why. Go to layout, 58 by 58. 0.5. Nothing actually changes. I don't know. I don't want to spend more time on this. We can figure that out later. Okay, so now we have that. So we know that there is a bug, but I'm not going to fix it because we're not going to be using this anyways. I just wanted to test it out just to make sure that I can modify the contents of each individual cell. So instead, I'm going to try to figure out a way to, and by trying to figure out, I mean, I'm going to ask ChatGPT a way to get a random, an array with randomized numbers from 1 to 9. Write me a function that returns an array, a JavaScript function actually. Returns an array of from 1 to 9 in random order. See, it's thinking, sure. There you go. And let's just copy it just the way it gave it to us. And then we can paste it here. And instead of console.log, we're going to alert. And then we have 5, 3, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If I press Command Shift 7, I should get a different number. 196, okay. 96, okay, that's good. So instead of this, okay, let me remove that alert because that's going to be annoying. And now we can do get random array. That for each. So actually no. Let's do cells. And let's make a new constant. Get random array. And then for each cell, we're going to set the inner HTML to the value of numbers and index. And now you got 372854961. And then if we refresh that, now we get a different, we get the numbers in a different order. So that's I think I'm gonna leave it there for today. Then on the next session, I'm going to continue these. And the first thing I'm going to do is to set a timer for to clear these elements. The timer, I'm going to set a timer to clear the elements and use asterisks. So let's actually before we leave, um, let's remove this. And then let's comment this out for now. And let's target table D. And then display block. And there you go. That looks a little better, though it's still not center. It's 2.4. Yeah, that's better. And remember, this is not a tutorial, so these you probably wouldn't do that in a production website or any type of code that you want for production. This is just a demo that I'm coding live. So don't copy this bad behavior. This is not good. It's always good to just play around, and code something fun without having to worry too much about good practices and uh, what's performant, what is not performant. Just let your imagination, you know, flow and play along with it as you think of it. That's always good. But whenever you are actually working on code that you're going to be shipping somewhere, either for yourself or for a client, that's not a time to let your imagination go. That's actually the time where you will be applying best practices and where you will be paying attention to uh, how you do things, or at least paying closer attention to the fact that some of the code that you write might not be the best version that you could come up with. And uh, but this time is not the time for that. This time is the time to let your imagination go and just go along with it. Anyway, so see you next time. Sorry, see you next time. All right. Bye bye.